It's hot. You got those on up there? Okay. Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Good. Thank you, Michelle. Welcome, everybody. Everybody's here for the State of the Town, right? Okay. All right. Thank you all for coming very much. Good evening and welcome. I'm delighted to see so many familiar faces tonight as we gather for the 2025 State of the Town Address. It's an honor to stand before you and share a glimpse into Fuquay-Varina's progress over the past year and exciting possibilities for the future. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge the dedicated individuals who work so hard for our town. Our Mayor Pro Tem Marilyn Garner will be here shortly. Commissioner Bill Harris, Commissioner Charlie Adcock, Commissioner Brian Haynes, and Commissioner Jason Wunsch. Fuquay-Varina has many citizen boards that contribute time and talent to our town. Tonight, we have representatives from the Planning Board, Board of Adjustment, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, Friends of the Arts Center, Fuquay-Varina Downtown Association, and Chamber of Commerce. If you would, please stand to be recognized. Thank you for your service. Mayor John W. Burns here tonight. John, and my former mayor and my friend, thank you for being here tonight. My beautiful wife, Heather, thank you for coming here tonight. The kids are at home, not locked in the car, at home with the babysitter, but thank you for being here tonight. You remember the social media buzz in mid-January about a man strolling our streets in a powdered wig and 18th century garb. Tonight, that mysterious figure, Francois, a very close friend of William Fuquay, joins us. He'll share Fuquay-Varina's achievements from the past year, setting the stage for my discussion on future plans so everyone can feel informed about the direction of their town. Scott, s'il vous plaît.
Morning, ladies.
Hey, neighbor. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, what? You have never seen a Frenchman painting before?
Sorry, I should have warned you. He sort of came with the house.
Was he on the inspection report?
I know, right?
Francois, this is Nancy, my neighbor.
Don't you mean our neighbor?
Fine, our neighbor. Nancy, this is...
Francois, mademoiselle. So, where did you go in my quaint little town today, mon ami?
Your town?
My town. William Fuquay and I helped build this quaint little oasis until you and your Americans and your rebel and your...
Hey, keep it clean.
Frère Jacques, don't me vu pour la promotina.
Hey, Frank.
Francois.
Francois, no one is ruining your town. They're making it better. In fact, we went by the new aviator expansion yesterday. I can't wait for it to open.
You Americans and your brews. When I was alive, if you wanted a crazy night, you drank the water.
I think it's been a while since you've seen your town. I think you'll be impressed.
So, go on, impress me with your improvements to my sweet little town.
Lots of updates. The new fire station 4. Here are some pictures from the ribbon cutting. The CCL label has completed its new division construction. Oh, and we're getting a true Hilton hotel, which will help make Fuquay-Varina a destination spot. Come to think of it, it's been a while since we visited our own destination spot.
But what would your husband say about you and I to our own destination spot, no?
I meant the whole family.
Oh, sure you did. Shh.
Oh.
Do not go, please. Tell me more improvements, s'il vous plaît.
The town is moving forward with a downtown mixed-use project. Shops, housing, and they're revitalizing downtown with a new generational plan.
And what are these Target I keep hearing about? No doubt some American French toast cafe?
Target.
I shoot it with an arrow?
The store? It broke ground and it'll open next year. You know how much driving time that's gonna save me? And you know what just opened?
Another American brew.
No, the new Hilltop Needmore Town Park Community Center. There's a walking running track, 3 new gyms, 2 racquetball courts, exercise equipment galore, and classes for every age group. They even have an active adult center, and you definitely qualify. You should come. It's gonna be so much fun.
I could perhaps wait outside in the bushes and scare the poor souls as they walk by, maybe?
You could try, I guess. People might call the police, though. We're one of the safest towns in North Carolina. Our first responders are amazing. We even received an award for safety 2 years in a row.
Who is she talking to?
No idea.
And what's going on with that weight?
No idea.
You Americans with your constant obsession with cleanliness. In my day, we had efficiency. 1 chamber pot for everything.
Yeah, I don't want to know that. I'm just happy that the town is thinking ahead with the expansion of the Terrible Creek wastewater and not resorting to chamber pots.
Terrible Creek? Why is the creek so terrible?
Yeah, it's a weird name.
Oui, terrible.
Well, a new clean water plant just broke ground too.
And what is its name? Typhoid River Facility?
No, it's called the Sanford Water Filtration Plant. By pooling resources, the town is able to increase additional water capacity. Oh, plus, a new elevated water tank will provide more water pressure for all of us.
When I was alive, we did not need a water filtration plant. But we did have more cholera clinics.
Our parks and youth sports programs are booming.
Youth sports. Back in my day, youth sports was war. Nothing like the feel of a bayonet in your hand as you dig it into a nasty red coat.
Yeah, well, thankfully we moved on from that. Tennis, for example, has seen a major rise in participation. And the Teen Council...
A war council?
No, it's North Carolina's 24th Chartered Youth Council. Membership has gone up 260%. Are you gonna hit a ball?
If I do, will you stop spouting off random facts about your non-war council?
Do you see that? Nope. Didn't see a thing.
Hi Mom, my phone died. Do you mind plugging it in?
Dead phone? My turn. It says here that Fuquay-Varina has approved 3 big development mixed-use projects.
Vaughn Park, Academy Village, and Harvest District. These projects provide a variety of housing types at different price points, which people ask for, and walkable neighborhoods. Plus, there's 460,000 square feet of commercial and retail space. One even has a new grocery store. So all that plus some additional public spaces. The town is working very hard, and it's investing more than $63 million into transportation projects. There has been a lot of progress on our roads. This last year, the town started construction on Wallace Adcock Boulevard and the intersection at James Slaughter Road at Highway 55. The town completed construction on Highway 401 at Mill Creek and the intersection of South Judd and South Main.
Mademoiselle, are you saying that the intersection of South Main and South Judd is complete?
Yeah, look.
C'est bon. It is beautiful.
So what do you think of Fuquay-Varina now, Francois?
It is not altogether terrible.
You liked that Judd and Main intersection update by the community center, didn't you?
Oui, chérie.
I met Francois, and what a character. Thanks to our staff and amazing studios for their hard work on the video. Our communications staff will put the video on social media for everyone to see. Our State of the Town video is always a fun look back on accomplishments. My remarks tonight will focus on the future because our town leaders are focusing on the future. As a governing body, we believe in maximizing the value of every dollar entrusted to us. Our focus on efficiency and strategic investments allows us to deliver essential services and build a brighter future for Fuquay-Varina. And that investment in the future is more than just making small, but making smart financial decisions. It's about leaving a lasting legacy for our children and grandchildren. By planning ahead, we're ensuring that Fuquay-Varina continues to thrive and prosper for years to come. Over the next 12 to 18 months, our town board, management, and staff will focus on good public policy, strategic investments, and efficient delivery of services. We're doubling down on 7 core principles to ensure that Fuquay-Varina government provides critical local government functions efficiently and effectively. This isn't new. It's part of an overall long-term strategy. Our town has already made significant investments in infrastructure, water, wastewater, roads to name a few. We will continue with these fundamental projects. So what are those 7 principles? Our town government will continue focusing on the following key areas: transportation, utilities, planning, public safety, quality of life, economic development, downtown. Let's dig in a little deeper. We've made remarkable strides in improving our town's transportation infrastructure over the past few years. In fact, 23 transportation projects totaling approximately $63 million will be completed or under construction within the next 2 years. Now that's real progress. The town will continue to advance these transportation projects to completion. And just last year, we saw the completion of 2 major transportation projects and 5 others began construction. I hear from citizens all the time about how much smoother their commutes are thanks to these improvements. For example, the intersection improvements at South Judd Parkway and South Main Street near South Park Community Center have dramatically cut down wait times, making a real difference in people's daily lives. Last year, 6 other transportation projects were designed and are anticipated to go to construction within the next 12 to 15 months. To name a few: intersection improvements at Old Honeycutt and Highway 55, Northeast Judd Parkway and Highway 55, and Old Honeycutt and Kennebec Road. These will be real game changers for our community. Starting this month, we will also see sidewalk improvements at 3 locations in town. And other good news, the town has recently been recommended to receive a grant worth $3.6 million to help pay for right-of-way acquisition and construction of pedestrian improvements along Bridge Street from Northwest Judd Parkway to the Lincoln Heights Elementary School. Fuquay-Varina is growing, and our transportation system is evolving to keep pace. Through strategic investments and efficient service delivery, we're making real progress. We're proud of what we've accomplished so far and remain dedicated to building a transportation network that serves our thriving community. As Fuquay-Varina grows and prospers, we're investing in critical infrastructure to help support our town's future success. Notable milestones include breaking ground on the Sanford Water Filtration Expansion Project, which will bring 6 million gallons per day of clean drinking water to our town. Additionally, we are partnering with Holly Springs on a 14-mile water conveyance line from the Sanford Water Plant. We are also investing in the expansion of the Terrible Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant. And this year, these projects will continue to advance. By investing in these infrastructure projects, we're not only building a better future for Fuquay-Varina, we're also setting the stage for long-term growth, economic development, and quality of life for our residents. One of Fuquay-Varina's greatest strengths is its commitment to sound planning principles. The town has demonstrated a strong understanding of the importance of forward-thinking policy, ensuring that our community remains poised for growth and success. A key aspect of this approach is the ongoing assessment of our land use plan and community transportation plan, which serves as a guiding framework for development and growth. And by regularly evaluating the effectiveness of these plans, the town can identify areas for improvement and adjust as needed to ensure that our community's vision remains aligned with its goals. This proactive approach not only benefits current residents, but also sets Fuquay-Varina up for long-term success. Fuquay-Varina is and will continue to be a safe and secure community for all its residents. Our commitment to public safety is strong, as evidenced by numerous accolades and ongoing investments. Last year alone, organizations like SafeWise, MoneyGeek, and Smart Asset ranked Fuquay-Varina among the safest communities in North Carolina. This external validation aligns with the feedback we received in the 2024 Community Survey, where residents overwhelmingly expressed feelings of safety and satisfaction with our police and fire services. We are taking concrete steps to further enhance these vital services. Just last March, we proudly opened Fire Station 4, significantly expanding our response capabilities. And this month, we'll also put 4 brand new fire trucks into service, equipping our firefighters with the best tools available. Furthermore, our police department is about to achieve CALEA accreditation after a year of dedicated effort. This prestigious recognition signifies that our public safety policies and practices are among the best in the nation. The town of Fuquay-Varina will continue to prioritize and invest in our police and fire, providing them with the resources they need to keep our community safe and thriving. Fuquay-Varina offers more than just safety. It's a wonderful place to live with a high quality of life affirmed by resident feedback and recent awards. According to our recent community survey, over 89% of Fuquay-Varina residents rate the town's quality of life and livability as excellent or good. This strong sense of community is also reflected in the high percentage of residents who believe Fuquay-Varina is an excellent place to raise children. Fuquay-Varina has also been recognized by Main and Broad's annual Maggie Awards, voted on by readers across Southern Wake County. Our Follow Me to Fuquay-Varina concert series took first place for Best Local Events, while the Fuquay-Varina Arts Center earned top honors for both Best Live Performance Venue and Best Place for a Fun Night Out. 5 West Magazine ranked the Fuquay-Varina Arts Center among the top performance arts venues in the area, keeping good company with Deepak and Coco Booth. The quality of life numbers and accolades speak volumes. Fuquay-Varina is being recognized for its great quality of life and a vibrant cultural scene. Our commitment to enhancing quality of life is also evident in recent successes like the Hilltop Nemar Town Park Community Center, welcoming thousands of visitors in its first week. That momentum will continue this year with the construction of Austin Ridge Greenway, connecting Fuquay-Varina to Holly Springs Bass Lake Park. We remain dedicated to making strategic investments that elevate the quality of life for all of Fuquay-Varina's residents. Fuquay-Varina is experiencing a dynamic period of growth and prosperity, driven by strategic economic development initiatives and a commitment to creating a successful environment for businesses and residents alike. This past year alone witnessed significant milestones. True by Hilton announced plans for a new hotel. The town approved 3 mixed-use developments, adding over 500,000 square feet of commercial space, including a new grocery store. The 110,000 square feet CCL label manufacturing is complete and now open. The $29 million Burke Tech Leviton expansion is complete. And construction of the much anticipated 148,000 square feet target began and should be completed next year. Our success hasn't gone unnoticed. Open Door ranked Fuquay-Varina among the top 20 hottest real estate markets in the entire United States. The town remains committed to fostering a business-friendly environment with policies that create opportunities for residents through jobs and a strong tax base, ensuring continued investment in vital public services. Downtown Fuquay-Varina is the heart of our community, and our town board has been working diligently to ensure its vibrancy for generations to come. We recently adopted a comprehensive downtown generational plan outlining 3 impactful projects and over 90 actionable steps to guide our vision for a strong downtown. To further this goal, the town board approved a development agreement with HMP Holdings for a new vertical mixed-use project that will bring exciting new opportunities to our central core. This year, citizens can expect to see design plans unveiled for Library Park, and last fiscal year, we delivered on a key infrastructure need with a new parking lot in Varina. We're committed to maximizing its use, and we'll be introducing more town events at this location throughout the coming year. Our town board and management are committed to fostering a dynamic downtown that serves as a gathering place for residents and visitors alike. The town of Fuquay-Varina takes financial stewardship seriously. Our AAA credit rating from Standard & Poor's and recent upgrade by Moody's demonstrate our commitment to responsible financial management. We treat your tax dollars as carefully as we treat our own money. In fact, the town has earned national awards for our commitment to responsible financial management. We believe these awards and financial ratings are a clear reflection of our dedication to transparency and sound budgeting practices. Fuquay-Varina is a great place to live, work, and raise a family, thanks in part to our exceptional staff. Our recent community survey shows that 89% of residents rate their interactions with the town as positive, and 95% say our staff is courteous. This tells us that investing in our people is paying off. As a board and management team, we're committed to supporting and recognizing the hard work of town staff. They're passionate about our community, and their dedication and professionalism are truly impressive. Thank you for all that you do. I would like to extend my sincerest appreciation to our dedicated town management team led by Adam Mitchell as our town manager and our assistant town managers, Mark Matthews and Jim Seymour. Their exceptional leadership and collaboration have been instrumental in driving the town's success, ensuring seamless delivery of core services while proactively shaping a vibrant future for our community. I want to again thank the town board for their service, vision, and financial stewardship for the people of Fuquay-Varina. Susan Weiss, thank you for your help with the state of town this year. Susan's the magic that makes the magic happen behind the scenes. Thank you, Susan. And finally, I would like to thank our citizens. I had the privilege of speaking with people daily and seeing how connected they are to our community. Your feedback and involvement count. Thank you for helping to make Fuquay-Varina a dash more, and thank you for your support. As I always say, the sun is shining brightly on the town of Fuquay-Varina, and it's going to keep shining brightly this year. Thank you all for coming here tonight. We're going to take a brief recess to set up for our town board meeting tonight. Appreciate you being here. Welcome. Good evening. I now call to order a regular scheduled Board of Commissioners meeting for March 3rd. First item of business tonight is our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. I've asked Pam Davison, our planning director, to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Charlie Adcock to lead us in our invocation. If you would, please stand.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for bringing us here tonight. I just want to say that we live in a wonderful town. You have blessed us. We've seen tonight just what a wonderful place this is, and we should never take for granted, and help us to never take for granted, that we do live in a wonderful place. Lord, we thank you that we had so many citizens and town folks that participate in our town that came tonight and show interest, and so many that are helping us make this town a better place. Lord, I thank you that springtime is getting near and the weather is becoming very nice. And Lord, just give this board the ability to make decisions that would glorify you and would be decisions that really help this town to be all that it can be. Thank you for all of our blessings. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. The pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both for leading that tonight. Our meeting protocol. At this time, I ask Town Manager Mitchell to review the meeting protocol for public participation as it relates to this meeting. Adam, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, board members. It's nice to be with you tonight. Tonight's town board meeting is both in person and live streamed on the town's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Tonight's meeting contains a public comment period and 4 scheduled public hearings. The public is invited to comment in person. When it is the appropriate time, Mayor Massengill will call on those wishing to address the town board. All attendees that have appeared in person to address the town board during the public comment period should provide your name and address on the green registration sheet by the podium prior to the public comment period beginning. All attendees that have appeared in person to address the town board during a scheduled public hearing should provide your name and address on the white registration sheet by the podium. We ask all those wishing to address the town board, either during the public comment period or a scheduled public hearing, to begin their comments by clearly stating their name and address for the public record. The public is asked to keep all comments to 3 minutes so that all that wish to speak may be heard in a timely manner. To be respectful of those that may have different views on matters addressed by the town board, we ask that all in attendance respect the decorum of the meeting by refraining from clapping, making loud noises, and generally showing support or displeasure for comments made during the public comment period or public hearings. Police Chief Smith will be asked to escort from the boardroom anyone not respecting the process, and it is the discretion of the mayor as presiding officer of the meeting to continue the public comment period and or public hearing period if the meeting protocol is not followed. This concludes the protocol for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Manager.
Thank you.
Next item of business is the approval of the minutes for the February 18th, 2025 Town Board of Commissioners regular scheduled meeting. Any changes or additions to the minutes? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I have a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is we have a presentation tonight. This is a proclamation for National Procurement Month. I have a proclamation to recognize those that are involved with procuring and helping to keep things running efficiently and effectively. Whereas procurement is a critical function that enables our government to acquire goods and services necessary to deliver essential public services. And whereas effective procurement practices are vital to ensuring the efficient use of public funds, promoting transparency, accountability, and good governance. And whereas National Procurement Month provides an opportunity for us to raise awareness about the importance of procurement in our society and recognize the efforts of procurement professionals who work tirelessly behind the scenes to support our government's operations. And whereas the town of Fuquay-Varina is committed to promoting transparency, accountability, and good governance in all aspects of our operations. And now therefore, I, Blake Massengill, Mayor of the town of Fuquay-Varina, do hereby proclaim March 2025 as National Procurement Month in Fuquay-Varina and commend its observance to all people. Those of you that were here earlier tonight for our State of the Town address, you heard me talk about several areas of where the town works hard to be effectively and efficiently with tax dollars and running the city right there. And so I appreciate all those individuals and our staff that are involved with that. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the public comment period. At this time, the town clerk will call on individuals that are in attendance and have registered to address the town board prior to the meeting. The public comment period is a time for the public to address the town board about any matter that is not the subject of a scheduled public hearing. Those speaking are asked to begin by clearly stating your name and address for the public record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes in order that all who wish to speak may be heard in a timely manner. Teresa, do you have anybody signed up?
We have 2 people tonight. Emily Holloway.
Emily, welcome.
Emily Holloway, 312 Andrew Road, downtown Fuquay. I will start by saying that I'm glad that our town is moving forward in exciting ways. I've lived here over 35 years, and the changes have been truly remarkable. Tonight, I'm not here to advocate for wheelchair ramps like I usually am on the sidewalks, but I am here as a concerned citizen. I'm concerned for what is happening in our federal and state government, which very well may impact our local community. I don't know if the town anticipates any interruption of services due to federal administration decisions, and I don't know if the town utilizes or relies on any federal grants. We live in a hurricane and tornado-prone area, and with the reduction of at least 880 people at NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the consequences could affect us directly. The agency provides weather forecasting, it prepares nautical charts, predicts drought conditions for farmers, creates detailed weather forecasts for aviation safety, and much more. We need to have timely notifications and predictions of extreme weather events, which NOAA currently does. Is there any alternative plan in place to provide us with storm warnings if there were to be a reduction in those services? The second thing is with cuts of thousands of people at the EPA, whose job it is to monitor water and air quality, will our water systems continue to be safe from toxic pollutants? I know expanding access to clean water is a priority for Fuquay-Varina. Will the Cape Fear and the Neuse Rivers be monitored as closely as they are now? With less oversight, what assurances can we have that our water sources will continue to meet high standards? And what are ways that can be implemented to maintain the safety of our water supply? Weather and water are 2 issues which affect all of us in the community, and I think it's important that we are reassured that the town is looking out for us. I do appreciate you listening to my concerns, and thank you for your efforts that you and the town staff make to continue making this a safe and very good place to live. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Teresa?
Cynthia Bertolo.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you. My name is Cynthia Bertolero, 1112 Powder Court, Fuquay-Varina. And I'm just here to ask a couple of questions about the 4-lane that's going in. The first concern or question would be where they're planning on putting in the 4-lane road, there are trees and bushes. That is one of the reasons why my family, who just moved here from San Diego 3 years ago, bought the home that we did, is because of that screening from the main road at Purefoy. Are they going to be tearing all those trees down? And if so, are they going to replace them when they move back the line there in the public way? And then the other concern is that because I have lived in San Diego for most of my life, I have seen a lot of growth. Growth is always a positive thing. It's great. It brings about some change. It brings more money into the community, et cetera. But the problem is that your sleepy little towns turn into something that they were never really meant to be. And I'm concerned about the traffic that this 4-lane is going to bring into our sleepy little town that I love so much. Our family is so happy to be here. But it's been my experience in the 2 neighborhoods that I lived in outside of San Diego, they put in 4-lane roads, and within a month, we had so much more traffic cutting through our neighborhood to get to the back road. And as you may or may not know, Angier is the back road that backs up on Amber Ridge subdivision. I'm afraid that because we have so many children and so many elderly in our neighborhood, that people are now going to be enticed because they're late to work and so forth to cut through Amber Ridge to get to Angier at very high speeds. We've got a lot of kids that are riding bikes, a lot of teens on the motor scooters. We have no speed bumps, and I'm kind of curious what you may do to circumvent that. It is a big concern. And the other is, are you planning on putting in, or are they planning on putting in stoplights or more lighting? That is a little bit of concern because I don't know if you've all noticed this, you can see the sky so clearly at night because we have very little light pollution in this town, and it's beautiful at night. More lights means more light pollution. People aren't going to be able to enjoy the things that they normally enjoy, like quiet, more traffic, that kind of thing. So anyway, those are my 3 questions or concerns, and I'm just hoping to get some answers.
Well, welcome from California to Fuquay-Varina.
Thank
Matt,
you.
will you raise your hand so you get with that gentleman right there, ma'am? He'll be glad to talk to you about some of your questions. That's our engineering director right there. So
Thank you.
Welcome from California.
Thank you.
Teresa, do you have anybody else signed up?
That's all.
Okay. That concludes our public comment period. Next item on our agenda are, before we switch to our next item on our agenda, I just had a note right here a minute ago when I had my national procurement. Tiffany Marchman was here, and I had seen her out there. I think she stepped out now, but I did want to recognize Tiffany, who works in our procurement department. And says, Tiffany still here? She has stepped out. Okay, well, please let her know that I'm sorry I failed to recognize her earlier in the room when she was here, but she is in our procurement department. So, Tiffany, thank you for what you do for Fuquay-Varina. Public hearings are a time for the petitioner to present his or her request and for the public to give input and voice their favor or opposition to the request. If you wish to speak and are physically in attendance, please step forward to the podium one at a time. Provide your name and address on the registration log at the podium and clearly state your name and address for the public record. We ask all those addressing the town board to please limit your comments to 3 minutes in order that all who wish to speak may be heard in a timely manner. Our first public hearing tonight, item 7A, voluntary annexation petition, Dorsey A. Jackson Jr. and Diana Jackson Smale, 1655 Holland Road, ANX-2025-01. More information about the agenda will be presented by Planning Director Davidson. Pam, good evening.
Good evening. I'm submitting the agenda abstract.
You did a great job on our pledge earlier. Thank you so much for doing that.
I'm submitting the agenda abstract and supporting documents in the official records of the town. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider approving an annexation ordinance extending the corporate limits of the town of Fuquay-Varina following receipt of a petition for voluntary annexation of property located at 1655 Holland Road, owned by Dorsey A. Jackson Jr. and Diana Jackson Smale. The 26.324 acre parcel is non-contiguous to the town's corporate limits. Public water and sewer are not currently available to serve the subject property, but a fire flow test nearby resulted in adequate fire flow. The developer will extend public water with the development, and the proposed lots will be served by private septic. At the February 18th, 2025 meeting, the town clerk certified that the petition was sufficient and met the requirements prescribed by the North Carolina general statutes, and the town board adopted a resolution setting a public hearing for tonight's town board meeting. The present total value of the properties being annexed is $1,386,040. The suggested motion tonight is to adopt the annexation ordinance to extend the corporate limits of the town of Fuquay-Varina to include property owned by Dorsey A. Jackson Jr. and Diana Jackson Smale, and to approve the declaration of annexation agreement as presented and recommended. I'm available for any questions.
Now, thank you. Any questions you got from board members? Thank you, Director Davison. The hearing is now open. Does anyone wish to speak in favor of the voluntary annexation petition? Favor? Andy?
Good evening, Mayor, Board. Andy Petty of Curry Engineering. We're at 205 South Fuquay Avenue. We are the engineers that put this annexation petition together before you, and it's pretty straightforward, but I wanted to make sure that if there was any questions that we could answer, we'd be glad to answer them for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of the voluntary annexation petition? Does anyone wish to speak in opposition to the voluntary annexation petition?
Hi, Joseph Stevens, 1609 Holland Road. Our property's right next door. We had some concerns with this being annexed because we were kind of making sure that it wasn't going to affect our neighbors and ourselves and our other properties that are around us as far as being pulled in with the annexation. I understand that it's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be just the property that's in question that's going to be annexed. We were also concerned about maybe where the water line was going to run through to get to the property, as well as are they going to use city sewer in the future? And if so, where's that line going to run for city sewer? Let's see. We had some questions about the clearscaping of the property, if that was going to be an issue when they were going to start development. Were they going to take down all the trees on this property, and how that would affect water flow coming onto our property as well?
I just make notes on your comments and we'll address them here after the public hearing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Does anyone else wish to speak in opposition to the voluntary annexation petition?
Hi, I'm Susan Ferraro, 8101 White Star Drive. Our neighborhood is across the street from this property, and we've been trying to work with the town and DOT the last few years regarding traffic in the area, increased traffic through our neighborhood due to the Carolina Gardens neighborhood, and we're concerned that this development of this land will present more of an issue than we already have. Our sight lines to pull out of our neighborhood are already greatly hampered by the slate curve in the road. And I know DOT has made an effort to clear some of those trees, but it's still challenging to pull out. And with the proposed changes to the intersection of Purfoy and Holland, and with no light at 55, it's going to make that area extremely congested, extremely dangerous to try to pull out from any neighborhood on that road. So that's the concern I have with any changes to property in that area and development. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Does anyone else wish to speak in opposition to the voluntary annexation petition? Hearing's now closed. We're moving to board discussion and staff. Pam, I got a couple questions for you. Be able to see if we can answer some of these questions that were brought up. Typically in the past, anytime a piece of property is voluntary asked to be annexed, you can only be annexed in Fuquay-Varina if you ask to be annexed, and we cannot force anybody adjacent to it to be annexed, as only if they voluntarily want to. Does that still apply here?
That's state law, so yes.
So state law says that nobody can be annexed unless they voluntarily want to, so you don't have to worry about that. The water line here that's going in this project, is that going in public right of way, or is that going across anybody's property here? Can it go across somebody's property outside of right of way?
In this case, it'll go in the public right of way.
It'll be in the public right of way along Holland Road? Okay. So it's water, did I hear you say earlier in your presentation that it was water only, no sewer here?
Yes, these will be septic lots.
Okay, so it's a septic tank lot, then that's typically, by definition with the county, that's a low density type product?
That is correct.
Okay. Stormwater, there's a concern brought up about stormwater right there. I know historically in the past, any projects that come through, They cannot dump off more water than what's already landing there. This is a low-density neighborhood. How is stormwater treated? Is it treated differently with this project, or?
Right, so low-density neighborhoods generally do not supply, because they do open section roads and ditches. They have impervious maximums. I believe they can't exceed 2 dwelling units per acre. And the stormwater off the roadway, the impervious surfaces, is handled in the swales, so there will not be specifically stormwater ponds. But the stormwater and erosion control will all have to be obviously submitted with the CDs of the subdivision and show that same thing as the water, the same drainage pre-development and post-development off the property needs to be maintained.
Okay. And so this is low density, is what you shared with me just a minute ago, and this is an annexation hearing. It's not a rezoning hearing, so it's not looking to be changed to be more dense or anything?
We will be doing a rezoning of this property later, but, I mean, again, they're doing low density, so.
You said it's low density, is what that is, and is that common for that area out there?
Yes. Yeah, that is compliant with the land use plan.
Okay, so it matches up land use plan for the area?
Sure
Okay.
does.
I think I had all the questions that were brought up. Any other comments or from board
When do you
members? We
expect
have-
the zoning to come before the town board?
And actually, let me confirm. Andy, this one's not, this is not. We have too many going through right now. This one is not being rezoned, so this will stay RA. I misspoke.
So zoning's not changing on it? Okay. Any other questions from board members for Pam, or board members, or discussion? Okay. All right, we've been board discussion. If no more discussion, what is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to adopt the annexation ordinance to extend the corporate limits of the town of Fuquay-Varina to include property owned by Dorsey A. Jackson Jr. and Diana Jackson Small, and to approve the declaration of annexation agreement as presented and recommended.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing, item 7B, zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment. New Waters Recovery, North Carolina, RTC LLC, 6321 Johnson Pond Road, REZ-2024-17. More information about agenda item will be presented by Planning Director Davison.
Thank you. I'm submitting the agenda abstract and supporting documents into the official record of the town. This one's a little bit different, so we're going to go into a little more detail in the staff report tonight just to kind of give you the whole picture. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider approving a requested zoning map amendment for 13.9 acres located at 6321 Johnson Pond Road from the residential agricultural zoning district to the office and institutional conditional zoning district, and the corresponding land use plan amendment from the mixed residential neighborhood and open space classifications to the civic and institutional and open space classifications. The petitioner has requested that the only permitted use be a hospital medical center. The petitioner has requested the following site-specific conditions be made applicable to the subject property. Clients of the facility shall not be allowed to have a vehicle on site during their stay at the property. The property will be subject to 24-hour live camera surveillance. An ornamental gate will be installed and maintained at the entrance of the property. The residence hall will have a nightly curfew of 10 p.m. There will be additional supplemented buffers provided. All exterior parking, drive, and pedestrian way lighting shall be decorative fixtures not to exceed 15 feet in height, black, and the poles will cut off optics to eliminate off-site glare. The John Beale House will be preserved as a historic landmark in accordance with the Certificate of Appropriateness granted by the Wake County Historic Preservation Commission on January 14, 2025, and the Town of Fuquay-Varina's ordinance designating it as a Fuquay-Varina historic landmark. To further protect the historic significance of the property, if this rezoning is approved, the applicant shall pursue a deed of easement for historic preservation to capital area preservation, subject to terms and conditions mutually agreed to by the applicant and capital area preservation. Now, the following 3 conditions I'm about to read have been added since the planning board meeting to take care of some neighbor concerns and planning board discussion. The hospital medical center land use on the property will only accept adult 18 years and older clients that voluntarily apply for treatment at the time of application for treatment, are deemed by a North Carolina licensed medical provider to be medically stable and free from acute mental health symptoms. For clarification, the hospital medical center land use will not accept any individual for treatment at the time of application or at any time during a treatment program on the property is seeking treatment pursuant to an involuntary commitment proceeding or other involuntary commitment programs. The program of treatment offered by the hospital medical center land use on the property will at all times be voluntary for the client. The hospital medical center land use on the property will establish and maintain rules and regulations for treatment, care, and services consistent with best practices and standards of a North Carolina licensed and nationally accredited behavioral health care organization, providing voluntary treatment for substance abuse disorders, and upon commercially reasonable request of the town manager or his or her designee, the operator of the hospital medical center land use on the property shall certify to the town that it is in material compliance with these zoning conditions. At the February 17, 2025 regular meeting, the Planning Board voted unanimously to recommend approval with the added condition that all patient treatment will be voluntary. After the Planning Board, the petitioner volunteered additional conditions that I noted, 8 through 10. These conditions respond to the concerns presented by a member of the public during the public hearing, as well as some concerns shared by the Planning Board members during discussion. Staff has reviewed the proposal and has determined it is in accordance with the town's land development ordinance for the following reasons. They've requested an appropriate land use which is compatible with the requested zoning classification. The requested zoning district is complementary to the existing uses in the general vicinity, and the requested zoning supports the 2040 land use plan's goals to encourage infill development and preserve open space. The suggested motion tonight is to either recommend approval of REZ 2024-17, a zoning map amendment for 6321 Johnson Pond Road, from the residential agricultural zoning district to the office and institutional conditional zoning district, and the corresponding land use plan amendment from mixed-use residential neighborhood and open space classifications to civic and institutional and open space classifications, as it is reasonable and in the best interest of the public for the reasons identified by staff, or to deny approval of REZ 2024-17, a zoning map amendment for 6321 Johnson Pond Road, from the residential agricultural zoning district to the office and institutional conditional zoning district, and the corresponding land use plan amendment from the mixed residential neighborhood and open space classifications to the civic and institutional and open space classifications, as it is not reasonable and not in the best interest of the public for the reasons identified by the board in discussion, unless the following reasons. I am available for any questions.
Any questions for Director Davison before we open the public hearing?
Yeah, I have just a couple of questions.
Mr. Harris, go ahead.
I'm confused about what the proposed treatment milieu is for this New Waters recovery. Is it and perhaps someone who's representing the agency can answer this question, but is it a residential therapeutic treatment facility, or is it an residential facility similar to Oxford House that houses individuals who have addiction problems but are not necessarily involved in any kind of treatment? It's not clear what the program operation is for this particular facility, because my concern is it appears that in the discussion there are a lot of constraints in regards to what the facility can do in relationship to providing and offering adequate treatment for those particular people who may have addictive issues. So are you familiar with what the program operation is? Is this a therapeutic community?
Right. I could take a stab at it if the applicant is here, and he can probably better speak to
the public hearing. When we open the public hearing, the applicant.
Okay, all right. I'll just, okay. But that's my comment, Mr. Mayor, my question.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Harris. I know they're here, and I know they'll, I think, answer your questions there for you there.
Okay.
You had a question?
I'll wait till the.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No further questions. We'll open the public hearing. The hearing is now open. Does anyone wish to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment and land use plan amendments?
Mayor Massengill, Mayor Pro Tem Gardner, members of the board, good evening. My name is John Adcock of the Adcock Law Firm located at 202 East Academy Street, and I represent the applicant which is also the landowner in regards to this zoning application. Commissioner Harris, I'm going to invite up Justin McClendon. He's the CEO of New Waters Recovery to specifically address the question you just raised. He's much better prepared to address that.
Thank you.
Name and address? Yeah. So Justin McClendon, 503 Thorncrest Drive, Apex, North Carolina, 27539. So to answer that question specifically, so it will be a licensed residential treatment center for individuals struggling with substance use disorder. So DHHS, the licensure level would be 3,400. So residential treatment for individuals struggling with substance use disorder.
Okay.
So not, just to go in a little bit more detail, not comparable to an Oxford house, which is much more loosely controlled regarding the regulations and what the residents can do and things like that. This is a much more higher level of care, which much more regulations around what individuals are able to do, and then of course regulating the treatment services that we would provide to those residents.
Okay. More of a therapeutic community approach for treatment.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's exactly that's what it is.
Yeah. So therapeutic community wouldn't maybe be the correct word, but yes, it would be a highly regulated treatment facility where we would provide evidence-based care to individuals struggling from substance use disorder.
Okay.
Again, as it says in there, these individuals are, medically stable, free from any kind of acute mental health disorders or anything like that. But individuals, very much like us, that are struggling with those issues and need a high level of service.
Okay, and one last question, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
And the age-specific designation of 18 and or older, that's based on the treatment?
The regulatory requirements, yes. So it would be adults only, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I just had a question about what I most commonly deal with in my practices. Do you, for level 1 DWIs, for example, that would need to go through a 30-day inpatient, is that the type of inpatient treatment, in lieu of going to being incarcerated? Is that a service that this provides, that type of in lieu of punitive?
Yes, would be the short answer. Again, we are not a facility or an organization that would engage in, certified DUI evaluations or anything like that. But yes, that level of treatment would be something that would be comparable to what's required.
Okay.
John, I'm assuming you got a presentation or some comments you'd like to make? Yes. Yeah, let's let them go through their written comments in regards to it.
Thank you, Mayor. So from a macro level, what the petitioner is requesting is to develop this property as a low-intensity, non-residential land use. It's going to be a low-traffic generator, minimal impact to the environmental features of this property, and very importantly, it's going to preserve the J. Bill Johnson House as an historic landmark. From the micro or level, and Commissioner Harris, as you brought up, asking for specific information, and Justin did a great job describing what they do, but the intent, the plan is for this to be an upscale and premier treatment center for adults that voluntarily seek out treatment for substance abuse disorders. As Justin indicated, they go through a pre-screening process before they apply, and they go through a pre-screening process. They have to be determined that they're medically stable and free from any acute mental health symptoms. The treatment program, again, is completely voluntary. There will be no one on site receiving treatment as a result of an involuntary commitment proceeding. It's a clinical program. They're going to offer holistic treatments to supplement the clinical program of treatment. The clients will reside on the property for 30 to 45 days. The estimated cost of the treatment ranges from $50,000 to $65,000 for that period of time. They have a targeted client base, which is professionals, doctors, lawyers, professional athletes, industry leaders, and the program itself is highly structured. During the day, the whereabouts of each individual are constantly monitored. I'm going to speak to more about that later. All meals are prepared on site. The individuals receiving treatment are not allowed to have vehicles on the property, and that's not just a zoning condition, that's actually a policy of theirs as a part of this treatment. And the success of this program and the success of their business model is that this property be a quiet, tranquil, safe, and upscale refuge for this treatment to occur. Of course, we're all familiar with the J. Bill Johnson home. It's a Fuquay-Varina landmark property designated by ordinance. It's also on the National Registry of Historic Places. The historical significance of the property and the beautiful setting were the driving forces for my clients seeking out to operate this treatment facility at this property. They purchased the property in October of 2024. And as you all are aware, when a property has a landmark designation, before any improvements can be made to that property, there has to be a certificate of appropriateness issued by the Wake County Historical Preservation Commission. And as staff pointed out, that was issued unanimously at the Commission's January 14th meeting. And that COA authorizes, in general terms, 4 or 5 improvements to the property. One, probably the most substantial, is the construction of 2 secondary buildings on the property. These will be residence halls. This is where the individual seeking treatment will stay. There are 2. Each are about 4,500 square feet apiece. One is for males and one is for females. There's also going to be an expansion to an existing garage. And a pedestrian walk network is going to be added. The only change to the J. Bill Johnson house is going to be the addition of a handicap ramp. And there's going to be vegetative buffers and an entry gate added. The site plan that was approved as a part of the COA was in your agenda package, and I actually have This is the same site plan that was in your agenda package. This is the site plan that was approved by the Historical Commission. And the 2 yellow buildings here, these will be the new additions. These are the residence halls. There's a proposed fire access lane between the main house here in the middle and these 2 buildings. There's going to be an expansion of a garage, which is directly behind the pool area. So this is how it's going to look, and I want you to pay particular attention to the amount of undisturbed land that's going to remain on this property. But this is the COA approved site plan. Adding 9,000 square feet to an historic landmark is not a simple task. My clients engaged multiple design professionals and went through a really 6 to 7 month process working with capillary preservation in reviewing the proposed plans for this property. And as noted, that those plans were approved. One of the things I want to point out as well regarding the historical significance, and again, my clients, their motivation, one of the big motivations for buying this property and wanting to put this land use there is because of the historical significance of it, the opportunity to preserve that, and also it's 13 acres of land, and they're doing as minimal amounts, the amount of grading, tree removal is going to be minimal. The only trees being removed from this property will be those that have to be removed for the construction of the improvements. And as a condition of the COA, every single tree that is removed must be replaced by the same species in a location similar to where it was taken at a 3-inch caliper. But one of the big challenges was trying to get these buildings located in a position where they did not interfere with the visual sight lines from Johnson Pond Road over to the main house. This is a graphic that we used at the COA hearing, and Johnson Pond Road would be over here. This is the construction of the new building. So you can see as of course, you guys know, the commissioners know the lot. The house sits up at the top, the highest point of the property, and the topography really falls off from the house. So the challenge was to get these buildings located in a location where it would not interfere with the sight lines of the historical home. And there was a lot of work put into that by my client's design team, and it was successful. So, Mayor and members of the board, I just want to emphasize that a major goal of my client is to preserve this property. It's 13 acres. It's on the eastern boundary of the property. There's a blue line stream that offers a natural buffer along with the regulations that go along with that as a buffer to the east. The property sits prominently, or the house sits prominently up on a hill overlooking Johnson Pond to the north and northwest, Terrible Creek to the north and northeast. Those are areas that are mostly designated open space for obvious reasons by the town's land use plan. That's an additional regulatory buffer between this property and the growing area to the north and northeast. Last week, my clients had an initial pre-development meeting with the town staff. There will be a site plan process. That went very well. And based on current construction estimates, my clients are foreseeing investing between $8 and $10 million on this property. We concur with the staff's report, and we would ask that the commission approve this rezoning request. And I'm glad to address any questions you might have.
Any questions at this time for John?
You said 30 to 40, it's a 30 to 45 day stay. Could it be any longer than that, than the 30 to 45 days?
I'm going to let Justin McClendon address that.
So there's always a possibility that a client that was staying that may need to extend to kind of receive the full value of the full therapeutic value of being there. I would say the average is 30 days. 45 would be a little bit on the high end. 60 would probably be an outlier situation. Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, may I have one more point? I forgot to mention.
Hear that last point, John.
It was brought up in the staff report that the current land use designation is MRN, and that would allow, that land use classification supports development of this property into a maximum of 83 residential lots. This property is going to be unified as one property. It's going to remain as one property with one building and these two additional buildings. And from a traffic standpoint, I failed to mention, I did hand out, to pass out a traffic impact analysis, a traffic generation analysis that was prepared by my client, on behalf of my client, that shows that it is estimated that because the clients will not have vehicles on the property, that there's approximately 56 to 58 vehicle trips a day being proposed to be, or forecast to be generated from this land use. That compared to a more dense residential development where it could be in the hundreds, and I would suggest possibly 700 or 800 vehicle trips a day. So when you look at the what the land use plan supports there now versus what is being proposed, the preservation of the house, the preservation of the natural environment surrounding this property, which is so vitally important to the treatment that this program will provide. We believe this is in the best public interest of the state of the town of Fuquay-Varina to have this property preserved. It's a low intensity land use, and we think it will add great value not only to the community but also to the individuals that it serves.
Thank you, John. Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment? Does anyone wish to speak in opposition to the zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment? Hearing's now closed. Discussion by the board. If not, what is the pleasure of the board?
I did have a question, or maybe
Mr. Adcock?
more of a comment, but I appreciate all the effort that you all have had to go through to get the Preservation Society to unanimously approve this, and this is an important piece of property for Fuquay-Varina, for Southern Wake County. There's just, it's one of the key pieces as far as the history of this town. So I think what you presented is a very good use for it. My comment and maybe my question would be, would there be any opportunity maybe before you actually open to have maybe an open house to the community? And once you open, I don't know if that kind of thing would be possible or not, but I think it would be great if you would become possibly members of the Chamber of Commerce and maybe annually do something there. because I think if the community could come in and be able to see how beautiful it is, you know, it would benefit everybody and make the community really feel a part of what you all are doing there. I realize that it's a secluded place, and while you have patients there, that it's going to be off limits except for the patients, but it is still a landmark of the town, and I would love to be, for the citizens of the town on occasion, to be able to have an opportunity to see it. It's not a requirement, it's just that's my comments to you, and I would love to see that. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Adcock. Any other further comments from board members?
Mr. Mayor, I guess, you know, just from I know I read in the, everything about the security standpoint, but as from our police department and everything, it seems pretty, you know, secure from our police department standpoint as of the security measures they put in place as well. I don't, if I could ask the police chief if possible.
Chief, Commissioner Haynes says, I think I saw, there's Chief right there, I'm sorry, I was looking at over there where you guys were earlier.
Yeah, I can't really speak to the security measures because I haven't seen all those right now. So it makes it hard for me to say, yes, they're adequate. But based on the presentation tonight, it sounds like they have a good plan in place. So for the moment, I don't have any concerns, but would be very open to working with them to make sure that there's adequate security measures in place.
Thank you, sir. That was just one of the concerns I've seen people say, so just to reassure that our police department be working with them closely if need be for security measures. So that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Haynes.
And it sounds like the treatment milieu that they are proposing, this is an ideal site for a residential treatment facility because it goes along with what they are trying to do in regards to transforming and helping people who have addictive problems. So I think it's a good approach.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no further questions or comments from board members. We'll entertain a motion then.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to recommend approval of REZ 2024-17, a zoning map amendment for 6321 Johnson Pond Road from the residential agricultural zoning district to the office and institutional conditional zoning district, and the corresponding land use plan amendment from the mixed residential neighborhood and open space classifications to the civic and institutional and open space classifications, as it is reasonable and in the best interest of the public for the reasons identified by staff.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion, second, Commissioner Harris. Any, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Charlie, I think that was a good suggestion that you made too about possibility of seeing a facility before you have patients in there. Such I saw a lot of heads nod, so it sounds like that may be something that can work out for you. Item 7C, zoning map amendment. I have a tough time talking tonight. Holland South Estates LLC, 8514 Purfoy Road, REZ-2024-18. More information about agenda item will be presented by Plan Director Davis. And Pamela?
Thank you. I'm
Make it up for
submitting.
us, now that you're back.
Hey, I got to earn my vacation, huh? I'm submitting the agenda abstract and supporting documents into the official records of the town. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider approving a requested zoning map amendment for a total of 24.07 acres located at 8514 Purfoy Road from the residential agricultural zoning district to the residential medium density conditional zoning district. The requested zoning is consistent with the 2040 land use plan's classification of single-family neighborhood and supports the goal to manage future growth and development in an infill investment area. The proposed conditions limit the development to single-family detached homes and include a variety of architectural conditions. At the February 17, 2025 regular meeting, the Planning Board voted unanimously to recommend approval. The suggested motion tonight is to approve REZ 2024-18, a zoning map amendment for 8514 Purfoy Road from the residential agricultural zoning district to the residential medium density conditional zoning district, as it is reasonable and in the best interest of the public for the reasons identified by management and staff. I'm available to answer any questions.
Questions or comments for staff? Okay, we'll hold a public hearing then. Hearing is now open. Does anyone wish to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment?
Evening again, Mr. Mayor and Town Board. Andy Petty, Curry Engineering, 205 South Fuquay Avenue. We appreciate the opportunity to present this rezoning case to you. This one's actually the rezoning one that we were working on earlier. We're excited about this one really for a lot of reasons, but really two main reasons. One, this zoning map amendment is really consistent with the land use plan. And as you guys know, as much effort as we went into going through that land use plan, it's always nice to bring you one that we don't ask for an amendment to that land use plan. So we're really excited about that. The other piece to this that we're excited about is all the conditions that are in this rezoning application, such as limiting density to 2.1 units. Even though it is an RMD request, it's still below a low density threshold as far as the way the ordinance is written. So that was a condition that we placed in there. A couple other things that we did in this rezoning application that we tried to do to develop a quality product is we tried to add it in is, if you know where this project's at, it's just north of Amber Ridge, and then there's several kind of larger estate lots and homes on the north side that are actually off of Holland Road, but the house is set very far back. So what we tried to do was use this property as a transition piece. So if you see in there in the conditions, we have a condition that all those lots that border those properties are all at least 20,000 square feet, so that we don't have smaller lots up against those really large lots. And then finally, we've got a large list of architectural conditions to choose from to ensure that this is not just a development, but that it's a quality development. And that's what I think the town of Fuquay is really looking for. So we're happy to answer any questions you have on it, and looking forward to delivering a good quality project.
Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment? Does anyone wish to speak in opposition to the zoning map amendment? Come forward.
Really wasn't prepared to say anything about this. I didn't know it was going to be
Please
discussed.
take your name and address for the public record.
Sorry, Cynthia Bertolero, 1112 Powder Court, Fuquay-Varina, 27526. While I'm not one of the houses that is affected by the building that's going on behind Chimney Ridge Drive, I do have a view into that area, and right now it's one of the most beautiful views that there is. Got farmland. There was a flower garden that was growing over there, wildflowers and whatnot, and not only that, but the deer enjoy it back there. I have very good neighbor friends that actually do have their backyards facing that area, and they're all a little bit concerned that all they're going to be seeing is concrete. So I would like to know if there's any type of, I don't know, any type of trees or bushes or flowers or anything that's going to go in there that's going to make looking out their patio enjoyable to them instead of looking into somebody's bedroom window or their cars or the concrete. It just seems to be a little, I don't know, intrusive. That was it.
Thank you for your comments, ma'am. Does anyone else wish to speak in opposition to the zoning map amendment? All right, the hearing is now closed. We're moving to board discussion. Pam, Director Davidson, we have a couple questions for you, please. This property right here is being proposed zoning map amendment. You said was medium density with a surrounding perimeter. I think I heard of, what was the surrounding perimeter? Or, excuse me, let me rephrase. It's medium density is proposed question?
Yes.
All right, Amber Ridge neighborhood has been discussed adjacent to it. What is the zoning of Amber Ridge?
RMD.
So this development wants the exact same thing that next door is it to it?
Sure is.
What was Amber Ridge before it was developed into a residential subdivision?
Assumingly similar to RA, it was either a county property or residential.
So it looked just like what's next door. It was a vacant piece of land.
In all likelihood, yes.
Yeah. Okay. It looked the same. So then this one's proposing to have the exact same thing that's next door to it. Okay. All right. I'm assuming this piece of property will follow all development guidelines the town has. Are they exempt from any rules?
It is, and as Andy had mentioned, some of the benefits here to provide that transition is that they are proposing much larger than required lots on the northern side of it, so it transitions from those large lots to the north.
So some of the lots will be larger than Amber Ridge lots?
Yes, significantly larger, 20,000 square feet compared to the
Okay. Okay. Any further questions from board members for staff? Okay. We'll entertain what's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion that we approve REZ 2024-18 as zoning map amendment for 8514 Purfoy Road from RA zoning district to the residential medium density conditional zoning district as it is reasonable and in the best interest of the public for the reasons identified by management and staff.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Public hearing, item 7D, zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment, McKinnon Property Group, 1924 North Broad Street and 0 Dickens Road, REZ-2024-20. More information about this agenda item will be presented by Planning Director Davison. Pamela, you almost got through your list tonight to make up for being gone.
Last
Not
one
yet.
tonight. I am submitting the agenda abstract and supporting documents into the official records of the town. The purpose of this agenda item is to consider approving a requested zoning map amendment for a total of 10.182 acres located at 1900 and 1924 North Broad Street and 0 Dickens Road from the Neighborhood Mixed Use Zoning District and the Urban Mixed Use Zoning District to the General Commercial Conditional Zoning District and the corresponding land use plan amendment from Suburban Commercial and Industrial classifications to Suburban Commercial. The proposed conditions include prohibiting various uses on the property as well as providing supplemental evergreen perimeter buffers adjacent to residentially zoned properties. The 2040 land use plan supports the requested zoning because it encourages infill development, encourages commercial development, and proposes development in priority infrastructure areas. The three properties were zoned neighborhood mixed use and urban mixed use in May 2020 with the intent to develop the properties as a mixed-use center in coordination with 200 Dickens Road. Since then, the owners of 200 Dickens Road decided to move forward with plans to develop the property under the existing heavy industrial zoning. In 2022, the town updated the land use plan and determined that without an integrated multi-parcel mixed-use development, the properties along North Broad Street are more suited for uses that support the suburban commercial land use classification. This requested zoning change to general commercial will shift the properties into a zoning district more suitable for a viable commercial development along the North Broad Street corridor and nullify the existing form-based master plan that promoted a connection to the adjacent parcel, which will now remain heavy industrial. At the February 17, 2025 regular meeting, the Planning Board voted unanimously to recommend approval. The suggested motion tonight is to approve REZ 2024-20, a zoning map amendment for 1900 and 1924 North Broad Street and 0 Dickens Road from the Neighborhood Mixed Use Zoning District and the Urban Mixed Use Zoning District to the General Commercial Zoning District, and the corresponding land use plan amendment from the Suburban Commercial and Industrial classifications to the Suburban Commercial classification as it is reasonable and in the best interest of the public for the reasons identified by management and staff. I am available to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff before we hold public hearing? Okay, thank you, Director Davison. The hearing is now open. Does anyone wish to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment?
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Commissioners. Beth Blackman with Timmons Group, Senior Project Manager, 5410 Trinity Road, Suite 102, Raleigh. Happy to be here with you. Applicant and property owner Kyle Greer is here with me as well. Don't know if y'all remember, some of y'all were here 5-6 years ago. We did rezone this as a form-based development with the master plan. But since then, the land use plan has been updated. The property behind it, as Ms. Davison mentioned, is moving forward as with their heavy industrial use. And so that left this smaller and, a little harder to put together a mixed-use development on. And so we have looked at the land use plan. Most of it was suburban commercial. There is a very, very small sliver that is still industrial. And so because of that, we do need a land use plan amendment to change the very, very small sliver of industrial to suburban commercial to match the remainder of the site. But we have worked to reduce the list of permitted uses, and we appreciate working with staff, and we're happy to answer any questions. And we did have a neighborhood meeting in January, and we did not have any attendees, but we we appreciate y'all's support this evening.
Thank you, Beth.
No problem. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment?
Good evening, Mayor, Board, good to see you. As Beth said, we were here about 5 years ago rezoning this, and we're back again.
Officially put your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle Greer, 315 North Academy Street. You'd think I'd remember that. Carrie, good to see you. We're back again, just to try to get this kind of more in compliant with the way things have evolved in the neighborhood to take it back to a general use rezoning. Been working with Pam and all of staff quite a bit on it. It's been great, and if you have any questions, certainly here for that. Otherwise, appreciate your support.
Thank you for your comments. Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of the zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment? Does anyone wish to speak in opposition to the zoning map amendment and land use plan amendment? Hearing's now closed. Any discussion by the board? If not, what is the pleasure of the board? Beth, did you, La Farm's right there on the corner of that, and that's, as I know, is one of your top tenants there, and the public enjoys that always right there too. What's your time frame on your project?
We're working through. As to not get too presumptuous, Kyle Greer, 315 North Academy Street, Cary. As to not get too presumptuous on the zone, we haven't quite worked fully in plans yet, but La Farm has done very well there. They've been warmly welcomed by the folks of Fuquay, and they'd love to stay here. So we're going to try to work to make that happen, along with some other TBD uses that would be permitted under the zoning.
I like the words warmly welcomed, which means business has been good for La Farm Bakery.
They have, it has been
good. Good way to describe it. So, okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion by board members? If not, we can entertain a motion so moved, or any other comments?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all. Next item is consent agenda. What's the board's pleasure on the items on the consent agenda? Entertain a motion to approve or any adjustments?
Motion to approve, Mr. Mayor, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Motion to approve all
Second.
items. Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I can tell he went to law school.
Who? Not me.
He went right through those alphabets.
Don't ask me what comes after that.
Gotta know your letters if you go to law school, right?
Yeah.
Campbell teaches you all that good, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Wolfpack doesn't teach lawyers anything. We don't have a law school at the pack. Minister, y'all don't have one either. Yeah. Administrative reports item 10A, contract award North End Street Waterline Replacement Project. More information about agenda item will be presented by Public Utilities Director Wagner. Mike, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have for consideration the contract award for the North End Street Waterline Replacement Project to Pipeline Utilities. This would be for the construction of approximately 4,100 feet of 8-inch water line from Main Street down to East Spring Street, and about a 200-foot section on Aiken Drive, or Aiken Parkway, excuse me. The approximate construction time for this is 230 days. We did receive 4 responsive bids for this project, so we were excited about that. And funding for this water line is already budgeted, and we will allocate $1,745,457.10 from our waterline replacement projects account. We are excited to get this project done. That we have had some lower flows on the street, and this is an older line, and we're excited to move forward with it. So the management and staff's recommendation is a motion to approve and award construction contract to Pipeline Utilities, Inc. to undertake the North End Street Waterline Replacement Project in the amount of $1,745,457.10 as presented and recommended, subject to town attorney review as to form. If you have any questions.
Wonder how old the water line is that's in there.
This was a pre-1970s. We don't have any official records prior to the 70s. So we have water lines in town and sewer lines that date back to the 30s for sure. But but this one has been, it's over 50 years old and very restricted at this point in time.
When you say restricted, what's going on with it?
You have just buildup in the pipe over time. And so without proper maintenance and flushing and over 50 years, eventually builds up and it's time to replace it.
How about water flow pressure for fire hydrants and safety through there? I know there's some fire hydrants through there, but as this line's replaced, you'll be servicing, checking fire hydrants, adding any fire hydrants needed, or?
There won't be any additional. The existing ones will be
Existing ones
replaced with their service lines. This is also one of those areas. We have numerous areas around town where fire hydrants are so old they don't even have a cutoff valve coming from the main line. So this is one of those areas where we'll get some cutoff valves.
You can fix the fire hydrants for everybody through there and keep them safe.
Yes, sir.
I know the chief will appreciate that over there, having fire hydrants that work that are good. All right. And it's great, Mike, when you have a variety of bidders that bid on a project. We know that we can get the best price for our citizens here in regards for that.
Yes.
Any further questions for Utilities Director Wagner? If not, we'll entertain a motion. So move.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Director Wagner. Item 11A, Town Manager's Report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things to update the board on this evening related to work in our various departments since the last time we got together and met. Related to our Parks and Recreation Department, spring youth sports season is underway. We have 4,544 participants this spring in our youth sports activities. This is an increase of about 5% from the spring of 2024. Soccer is our most popular registered sport with 2,069 participants. Additionally, out of that department, our summer camp registration has been launched for camps at the Hilltop Needmore Town Park Community Center and South Park Community Center. While the new community center allows the town to take about twice as many participants, this program remains extremely in high demand. As of 9 a.m. this morning, 648 campers are registered for this summer. So a lot of excitement out of what we offer through our Parks and Rec Department in the summertime for our kids in the community. Officer Derek Wilson in our police department has launched the first ever Criminal Justice Club at Herbert Akins Road Middle School. The club meets every Wednesday for 30 minutes with the aim of educating students about law enforcement and career opportunities in the field of law enforcement. This initiative is part of the police department's efforts to begin recruiting early and identifying individuals interested in pursuing careers in law enforcement. And plans are to expand this program to both middle schools and high schools. So I want to thank Officer Wilson for the efforts to launch this new club at Herbert Akins Road Middle School. Fire department, very exciting. We've got our new fire engines that arrived in town last week, and they should be in service by the end of March, and we're planning on a commissioning service of those 4 fire engines, so we'll keep you informed about what those plans develop into so you can be a part of that and get to enjoy sort of the unveiling of those to the community. Big deal for our fire department. And then applications for the inaugural Fire Citizens Fire Academy closed last week, and we look forward to introducing the inner workings of the fire department and fire service to 15 excited citizens beginning March 11th at Fire Station number 4.
Chief, at Chapel Hill, they got blue fire trucks. What color are our fire trucks? Red. It's the only color for a fire truck, isn't it? Glad to hear that.
The Art Center, I mentioned at a previous town board meeting, we have a competitive dance team that was going off for a competition. They returned from their first competition with multiple awards. We want to congratulate the dance team for their great competitive efforts. And the theater will host 2 concerts coming up this month. Rockland Road and Candlelight Celtic will be at the theater this month. So exciting for those shows. Our finance department staff recently submitted bids for the fire engine financing, and those should be presented to the town board at your next meeting this month. And then departmental budget requests were received on Valentine's Day, and our first budget meetings began today. So we're in the trenches now, closely evaluating and assessing budget requests so that we can put together a great budget proposal for your viewing and consideration at the budget workshop in April. Public Works, the pedestrian crosswalk for the Park Depot Greenway and NC 55 crossing is repaired. You might recall back in December there was a vehicle collision there that took out the pedestrian signalization, and we had to wait for that equipment to be repaired. And so that has been done now so that pedestrians can once again safely walk across with signalized crosswalks there at NC 55. Our inspections department is staying quite busy these days, and we're seeing steady building permit activity since the beginning of this year, which is showing some signs for growth. So we're keeping an eye on that and monitoring it as part of the budget process. The project referred to by the state as HL 0028, you know it as the Mill Creek US 401 intersection operational improvements. That is substantially complete, and we are moving towards the closeout of that project. And the engineering department is also working to complete an asset inventory and condition assessment of stormwater infrastructure in our downtown areas. This assessment will help identify infrastructure that may possibly need to be repaired or upgraded that we can consider as a part of the budget process and our CIP development process. Co-compliance officer Jim Gorel successfully completed the state's plumbing level 1 certification class and plans to sit for the state exam in June. So we want to wish him luck with that and thank him for the efforts to go through that certification class. Our Main Street and West Academy Street waterline replacement project started this morning, and there's active construction will occur between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. During the days that project is happening. And then Dean Hardy in our Public Utilities Department started as a Distribution Operator 1 in the Water Division of the Public Utilities Department. So we want to welcome Dean to our team and wish him well with his work with the town. Our HR department is working with NeoGov and our IT department to transition to a new performance appraisal software that is integrated with other town human resource software that we use throughout our organization. And so we're working through that process. Want to thank the HR department and the IT department for their efforts so that our supervisors, department directors, management can continue forward without missing a beat with the employee appraisal process. And our HR department is working closely now with the UNC School of Government to bring on-site supervisory training for members of our team who have supervisory responsibilities or that may be future candidates for supervisory responsibilities. So we're trying to make sure that they have the exposure and training necessary to supervise other staff and do it well. I mentioned in a previous meeting that the town has rolled out internally to our employees a AI, artificial intelligence powered system that we call FVGPT. This AI powered system is intended to assist our staff with initial review of contracts to ensure that they comply with federal and state laws, generating website content for our website, policy research, as well as efficiently searching town ordinances for information that may be applicable to the work that our staff does. This is just a few of the ways that we will be using this tool moving forward, using technology to help us be more efficient in our work. And our IT department is getting ready to perform the annual computer refresh for many of our computer laptops and workstations within our system, as well as server upgrades that happen every 5 years. So some technology upgrades there. I also want to recognize our public works and public safety staff for the great job that they did during the recent winter weather event. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of this wannabe winter situation going on. I'd like for it just to be spring and get rid of this winter weather. Hopefully we're done, knock on wood. But our roads were back operational very quickly. Our services were provided, especially sanitation and recycling services. And there was a quick response to public safety in the face of inclement weather conditions. So I want to thank all of our staff, fire, police, public works, all of our other staff that may have had to be out that day to address service needs in our community. Want to thank them for their efforts during those conditions that aren't always favorable. With that, in addition, you have some items just to take note of in the other business section of your agenda. Coffee with a Cop will be at Eggs Up Grill on Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. And then our police department is going to be having a polar plunge for Special Olympics fundraising. This is Saturday, March 15th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the heated pool at Clubworks.
The heat pool, right.
Real heated, real hot pool.
So put that on your calendar if you want to see a polar plunge. With that, Mr. Mayor and Board, I have no other remarks to make. I'm happy to answer any questions that the town board may have.
Heated pool, polar plunge, Chief. Oh, y'all are funny. Didn't y'all do one last year in a frigid pool at an apartment complex that had no heat?
This was an alternative to that, so it's just the way it worked out.
I can't blame you for choosing a heated pool over a cold pool.
Yeah. It is flu season.
Oh, well. Hey, I'm glad you're doing good. Any questions from management? If not, moving to board member comments. Okay, Commissioner Harris, any comments?
Oh, yeah. It amazes me every time we do the State of the Town report, the creativity that comes across and how the message of what we are doing is conveyed. It's just exciting. I think it's a way to enhance what we are doing, our projects, and the ability to communicate to the community all the work that the staff and that we collectively as a group we are doing. I think it's important. I'm also glad to hear that we're at the midst of, or in the beginning of budget discussions, and I just wanted to raise an issue that I know we've had some discussion about, but I think that since we are a growing community, we have to have a discussion about how we're going to manage the museum, which records our history, which is an opportunity for us to invest in part of our community that can convey not only what we're doing today as far as the State of the Town message we heard this evening, but as well as to talk about our history and how we as a community have grown over the years, and to educate those who come after us about the legacy of Fuquay-Varina. I mean, we saw some of it in the presentation tonight, but I think we can dig deeper if we find a way to invest in the museum, to enhance what's going on there, and to be able to bring it into the downtown area, if that's the case, where it can be a destination for people who come to the community who don't know the history. I think it can be valuable. It can be also almost an economic engine to downtown if we could find a way to make that happen. And I just want to put that out here tonight, because we're going into the budget discussions, and I just hope that there's some way we can move forward and address that concern where we can improve what we already have, where it can go along with all the tremendous growth and development that's happening here in our community.
Thank you, Commissioner Harris. Commissioner Adcock, any comments?
The State of the Town video was excellent. Makes me proud to be a Fuquay-Varinian, and the mayor did a pretty good job giving his address as well.
Thank you, Commissioners. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. Check mark beside your name. Thank you. Commissioner Watch, any comments?
I would third that comment. Excellent video, and I know it gets challenging every year to find a way to present it in a different way, because we've been doing it for a number of years, but definitely succeeded, and it's always awesome to look back at what we've done over just 12 months, and it's extremely impressive and a reflection of the #1 staff, management, citizens, and town board. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Watch. Commissioner Haynes, any comments?
Yes, sir. It's in the great word of Mayor Pro Tem ditto to everything that all three of them just said about the state of the town address. Two things. Last week, me, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioner Harris attended the North Carolina League of Municipalities Town and State Dinner, which we had a good time. Our House Representative Parade and our Senate Representative Grafenstein was both there in attendance. Sat at a table together. There was a very robust conversation from our House and Senate leaders on stage, which was very interesting. But it gave us a scope on what to look for in what's coming into this General Assembly this coming up year, and struggles and different issues when it comes to Helene and different things. So that was very interesting. I have rave reviews to Maureen from so many people in the community about the Shana Tucker and the Motown review. People have been talking about that. They said it was amazing. I sent my mother, I know, to the Motown. So people were rave reviews about that. Last thing, I told my kids at the Child Care Network I was going to shout them out. I actually went down and read to them last week, as well as I jumped over into Harnett County and spoke for all 3 sessions, which I spent the whole day at Harnett County Central Middle School, speaking on Black history to the students of 6th, 7th, and 8th grades, along with Mr. Trice as well. So we had a good time over there. And then we ran back across the Wake County line to get back over here to Fuquay-Varina. So we had a good time. It's been busy.
Thank you, Commissioner Haynes. Mayor Pro Tem Gardner.
Yes, well, ditto. Ditto to all of that.
I told you.
I got caught by the train and was standing right outside the door there, but I did get to see the video and hear your presentation, and it just knocked it out of the park as usual. The whole thing was really good and creative, and that this series that each year your stakeholders come up with just the most amazing celebration for Black History Month, and this time being in the arts, it was just 3 really great performances, and a lot of interest in seeing the same kind of thing again. I was at the Shana Tucker concert this week, and it was that jazz series. He promised Maureen that he would grow a love for jazz and a place for jazz here in Fuquay-Varina, and it was so sellout, and it was everybody there really enjoyed it. They just get better and better, Maureen. It was really, really good, and our audiences have become more diverse. The word is getting out that it's just really good. And at our table at the state and town dinner was a lot of discussion about our new community center and senior center, and people talking about how either they had been or they were planning to come visit it from their community, because they're all looking at doing something similar, and many questions, and just a lot of the discussion was about Fuquay-Varina and what we're doing. So that was really exciting. So that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Gardner. Couple follow-up comments right there. Susan, I think you heard a lot of positive comments on the State of the Town video today, so that, where did Susan go? She must have stepped out. Either way, a lot of positive comments right there on that, so that's very good. The storms, Adam, you mentioned that, and I know we had a lot of overtime involved with staff and treating those roads and involved with it and partnering with DOT and everything involved with that. So thank you very much. I know several of you I've spoken with, but those I have not, thank you for your involvement with that. There's also up at, tonight it's been on the news at 10:10 and 4:01, I know public safety has been up there involved with a response up there in regards to Duke Energy and Dominion Gas Company and working with some traffic and some things over there. So thoughts with all of our public safety officials that are having to work late tonight in regards to that over there, and stay safe. Keep the public away from there, and stay safe yourselves. Watch out for our guys. And so thank y'all for what you're doing with that and dealing with that tonight too. In regards to it, Manager, do we have a closed session tonight?
There is no closed session recommended for this evening.
All right, we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.